Ever wondered what would happen if you combined the epic scale of Marvel with the gritty realism of Game of Thrones, all set in a world of feathered serpents, sun-eating monsters, and gods who demanded a steep, bloody price for their favor? Well, you don't have to wonder. Welcome to the brutal, beautiful, and utterly mind-blowing world of Aztec mythology. Forget what you think you know from movies and video games. We're about to dive headfirst into a universe so rich and complex, it makes modern fantasy look tame. From creation myths born of cosmic dismemberment to the daily struggle to keep the sun in the sky. The Aztec worldview was a breathtaking tapestry of sacrifice, honor, and a deep cosmic dread. So, grab a seat, because this is a story you won't want to miss. The Aztec story doesn't begin with a "let there be light" moment. Oh no, it starts with something far more chaotic. In the beginning, there was only the void. And within it, a dual-gendered primordial deity named Omnipotent. This supreme being gave birth to 4 powerful sons, each representing a cardinal direction and a fundamental element. You had the white Tezcatlipoca, also known as Quetzalcoatl, the black Tezcatlipoca, the trickster god, the red Tezcatlipoca, Mictlantecuhtli, and the blue Tezcatlipoca, the god of war, Huitzilopochtli. Now, with 4 divine ambitious brothers in the mix, you can imagine things got competitive fast. Their cosmic sibling rivalry would shape and destroy the world not once, not twice, but 4 times before our current era even began. These weren't just simple creations, they were entire epochs, each called a sun. The first sun was ruled by the black Tezcatlipoca, a world of giants who were eventually devoured by jaguars. Next came the son of wind, ruled by Quetzalcoatl. Humanity was made of monkeys, and the world was destroyed by a great hurricane that blew everything away. The third sun, ruled by the rain god Tlaloc, was a world of people made from ash, which ended in a terrifying rain of fire. The fourth sun, governed by the water goddess Mictlantecuhtli, was wiped out by a catastrophic flood, turning its inhabitants into fish. Each destruction was a direct result of the gods bickering. It's a humbling thought, isn't it? The idea that our entire existence hangs on the whims of divine family drama. So, how did our world, the fifth sun, come to be? Well, after the fourth world was destroyed, the gods gathered in the darkness at the sacred site of Teotihuacan. They decided a new sun was needed, but this one would require a sacrifice. A god would have to cast themselves into a massive bonfire to become the new sun. 2 gods volunteered: the proud, wealthy Tezcatlipoca and the humble, pimple-covered Nana-Watson. As they stood before the divine fire, the proud god hesitated 4 times, overcome by fear. Seeing this, the humble Nana-Watson, without a second thought, bravely leaped into the flames. Shamed by Nana-Watson's courage, Tezcatlipoca followed him into the pyre. From this ultimate sacrifice, 2 suns rose in the sky. But 2 suns were too bright, too hot. So one of the gods threw a rabbit at the second sun, dimming its light and turning it into the moon. That's why, if you look closely at a full moon, some say you can still see the outline of a rabbit there. But Nanawatson, now the sun god Tonatiuh, was motionless in the sky. His sacrifice wasn't enough. He demanded nourishment to begin his journey across the heavens, and that nourishment was the precious water, the sacred life force found in blood. So the other gods, led by the noble Quetzalcoatl, offered themselves, establishing the cosmic law of sacrifice. This is the core belief that drove the Aztec Empire. Human sacrifice wasn't just random violence. To them, it was a solemn, sacred duty. It was the price of a sunrise, the debt owed to the gods for their own initial sacrifice. It was the only thing standing between humanity and the end of the world. Without it, the sun would stop, the stars would fall, and skeletal monsters would descend from the heavens to devour everyone. High stakes, to say the least. Now, let's talk about the divine superstars of the Aztec pantheon. First up, the most famous of them all, Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. He was a god of wind, wisdom, and life, often depicted as a creator of humanity and a bringer of knowledge. He taught people agriculture, astronomy, and the arts. He was the good guy, the benevolent deity who, in many myths, opposed human sacrifice. But even he had a dark side and a rival who constantly sought to undo his work. And that rival was Tezcatlipoca, the smoking mirror. If Quetzalcoatl was the noble hero, Tezcatlipoca was the cunning anti-hero, a god of night, magic, and fate. He was a shapeshifter and a trickster who could see everything happening in the world through his obsidian mirror. He was the one who, according to one myth, tricked Quetzalcoatl into disgrace, causing him to flee into exile, but promising to one day return. This prophecy would have massive, world-altering consequences when the Spanish conquistadors arrived, as some Aztecs, including their leader Moctezuma, wondered if Hernan Cortes might be the returning Quetzalcoatl. It's a tragic case of myth becoming a catastrophic reality. And then there's the patron god of the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan Huitzilopochtli, the god of the sun and war. His own origin story is intense. His mother Kotaku, the earth goddess, was magically impregnated by a ball of feathers while sweeping a shrine. Her other 400 children, the stars, were furious at this dishonorable pregnancy and plotted to kill her. But just as they attacked, Huitzilopochtli sprang from the womb, fully grown and armed with a fiery serpent. He single-handedly dismembered his sister, the moon goddess Quetzalcoatl, and scattered his 400 brothers across the sky. This myth represents the daily triumph of the sun over the moon and stars. Huitzilopochtli was the divine warrior, and it was he who demanded the most tribute in the form of hearts to fuel his daily battle and keep the sun moving. This brings us to the Aztec underworld, Mictlan. Unlike the Christian concept of hell, Mictlan wasn't a place of punishment for your sins. Instead, your destination in the afterlife was determined by how you died. Most people, regardless of their status in life, had to endure a grueling 4-year journey through Mictlan's 9 treacherous levels. They faced crushing mountains, winds that flayed the skin, arrow-filled plains, and a great river that could only be crossed with the help of a special spirit dog. But only after surviving all this could their soul finally find rest in the presence of Mictlan's rulers, the skeletal god Mictlantecuhtli and his wife. Warriors who died in battle and women who died in childbirth, however, had a different fate. Their deaths were considered the highest form of sacrifice. The warriors would join the sun god Huitzilopochtli in the sky, accompanying him on his journey from sunrise to noon. The women would accompany him from noon to sunset. After 4 years, they would be reincarnated as beautiful birds and butterflies, living a paradise-like existence. This belief glorified sacrifice and battle, making it not just a political tool, but a path to a glorious afterlife. It shows how deeply intertwined religion, life and death were in the Aztec worldview. The Aztec world was one where the gods were not distant, abstract beings. They were active, demanding, and terrifyingly present in every aspect of daily life. From the planting of corn to the rising of the sun, everything was a negotiation with the divine. This universe, built on cycles of creation and destruction, debt and payment, is a powerful reminder of a civilization that saw itself as a crucial part of a fragile cosmic balance. Their myths weren't just stories, they were a user's manual for keeping the world from falling apart. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the brutal and beautiful world of Aztec mythology. It's a universe filled with so much more depth and complexity than we could ever cover in one video. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the fascinating stories that have shaped our world. Let me know in the comments which mythological figure you found most compelling. Until next time, stay curious.